Welcome back, folks. I'm Shockwave48, and today we have a new chapter of My Hero Academia, chapter 300. No, chapter 400. I'm sorry, I was going to say 300, but this is 400. We have reached 400 chapters of this new manga of My Hero Academia, guys. It has going great, as I should say, and things are doing pretty a little bit interesting in this chapter because I seen the pages of the release, and I just saw it. And it was just weird things just keep happening these days. And some people say it's a pretty good chapter. It's an awesome chapter. So I was like, okay, things are getting quite interesting every chapter that's been released from My Hero Academia. So look out for other guys. Let's go and see what's up. This chapter's pretty good. I have to see it for myself. So let's look up.
So we got the 400 spoilers, and this chapter is genuinely mind blowing. It is so exciting what happens at the end here. I can't believe it. But before we get into it, let me just go over what had happened in the previous chapter. So we saw All Might continuing to take on All for One, using various support items, all inspired by his students.
Yeah, I
And in
remember
that
that.
chapter, we also saw Aoyama taking on Kunita. Kunita was able to defeat most of the heroes there with his plant flower quirk, whatever he has. But it eventually got to the point of Aoyama using the power of shame and friendship to fire off naval lasers powerful enough to potentially take out Kunita, but he's unable to aim them because Kunita had his laser belt thing. Until Hagakure showed up at the last second and used her ability to reflect the lasers because, she's like invisible and she can reflect the light using her warp refraction. And the naval lasers hit Kunita, essentially defeating him, which I think might be confirmed in these spoilers. And then the chapter ended with us seeing All Might paralleling to Aoyama, firing off his own massive laser against All for One. And that brings us to this chapter that begins with Aoyama seeing Hagakure naked, which makes her run away embarrassed. She says that this has never happened before, but remembers the moment when they discovered that Aoyama was the traitor and her face became partially visible. She thinks that the adrenaline of risking her life on the battlefield may have caused her quirk to glitch. She also notices that Aoyama's naval laser has gotten stronger, but he says that now they need to focus on destroying the plants and saving all the pro heroes. And I didn't know that was a glitch, as she says. I thought that was just, Horikoshi's fan service, of course. Just from the light glistening from the naval lasers, like giving us the perfect opportunity as the audience to see it, but whatever. Even if Kunita is unconscious, the plants may continue to grow. He asks Hagakure to use the light to burn the roots that are growing inside their bodies, and she asks him about his tummy. But Aoyama says he'll give it his all because today is his last day as a UA student. Also, this saying that it's his last day as a UA student, I mean, I know that's what he ultimately wants because he's a traitor and he's trying to have some kind of redemption, but I'm sure there will be something that happens that stops him from doing that. But like I also said, I guess this is confirming that Kunita is defeated because they're also taking the plants out from his quirk that was infesting the other heroes. But I suppose it's also possible he might get up again and they have to fight him for another round. I could see that happening. Also, I wonder what's going to go on with, UA and the hero course and all that stuff after this war's over. Is it like, yeah, let's just continue you being students, even though you're all super ultra powerful gods, way more powerful than the top 10 pro heroes? Well, at least by that point, Izuku will, and I'm sure the top 3 will be, not that far behind him, at least Bakugo. Well, not that far behind him in terms of being so much farther away from everyone else.
But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Also, if you're familiar with HelloFresh, which I've also used before and love, Factor is in partnership with them. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. Too busy to cook this fall, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store
Some
and the
delicious
shopping,
food.
prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. You can round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons. And for an easy wellness boost, try refreshing beverage options like cold pressed juices, shakes, and smoothies. This September, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door. Ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. So I tried their apple kale wheatgrass cold pressed juice, and this was amazing. Like the first sip just hit.
It may look like
I
amazing,
also
but it's
tried
gonna
the
taste
queso
weird.
fundido with cilantro cauliflowered rice. Oh my god,
Ooh,
I cannot believe how
that looks
good this
good.
queso fundido was. And I'm not lying when I say this, I swear guys, this is the best I've ever had. I don't know how they made this. I wish they sent me like 17 of these. I could eat it every day. I also tried the cacio pepe with broccoli and cauliflower, and this was so satisfying.
Never
Cacio
tried
pepe is one of my
cauliflower,
favorite
but
pasta dishes, and Factor did such
it
a
looks
great
good to
job with
me.
theirs. It's so good on the broccoli and
I'd
the
like to try it.
cauliflower too. So guys, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code ZONIN50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box. That's such a great offer. And again, it's code ZONIN50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box. Thanks, guys. Cut to All Might's fight, and he says that the strategy of using a laser to cause massive damage and metal with his regen was inspired by Star's battle. All for One tries to escape, but All Might stops him using earphone jack sound waves. So that's interesting. All Might bringing up Star here, so that's his homage to Star. I guess this means that he's not going to have like a support item dedicated to her the way that he has with the other students here. Also in this sequence we see him using Jiro's sound jack. The laser also coming from Aoyama, but I guess he's just compounding that with Star. Because unfortunately, All Might never got to meet Star and Stripe. Well, at least like real time. He met her as a kid, maybe? I mean, I know he saved her as a kid in the first movie, but yeah, I really miss Star and Stripe. Her battle was amazing. Maybe the best in the series,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I
Maybe
kind of
one
miss
of
her
the
too.
best ever in all of battle manga.
I mean, her battle was
And I
pretty
guess
amazing.
we're going to see it in
Kind
the
of wish she
beginning of My
finished
Hero
off in the
Season
beginning, but
7,
still,
right? But if you
it
haven't
was a
read
good
it
fight.
or it's just been a while, you should give it a reread because that laser that he's inspired by here, it's a really incredible sequence by itself. It's then revealed that at the end of the previous chapter, All Might used Tentacle and the thrusters to escape from All for One and protect himself from the laser with the armor's Invisible Girl's optical resins. So I guess that's in reference to before it cut away to Aoyama in the previous chapter where All Might got leveled by All for One, but he also was able to like put the Shoto cannon in his mouth. So after
Ooh,
that sequence, I guess he was able to get away, and it led
nice.
to him firing off the
That was
Aoyama
incredible.
laser in the sky. He reduced the impact of All for One's punch with Tailman, but the lower half of his body is in tatters. He's still smiling, saying that All for One was stupid for not aiming for the head just because he wanted to see the former symbol of peace, his agonized grimace, so bad. And I guess that's the excuse for why All for One didn't like instantly kill All Might or go harder on him, I suppose. He's trying to essentially torture him. And All Might's kind of roasting him for it. Also, maybe this is like Horikoshi's little homage to Thanos. You know, like what he says to Thor at the end of Avengers Infinity War. That's when several black tendrils start coming out of the laser, hitting All Might. All for One is trying to free himself, but All Might turns parts of his armor into spheres, with armor morphing Creati, and those spheres stick All for One's hands into the ground. Grape juice. Alright, so we have All Might
Oh,
support here that was inspired by Yaoyorozu's
so he's using Momo and
of course, we know.
Minetta's
He
quirk?
has to
That's
have a spot in
amazing.
here. All 20 students are for sure going to get a call out.
The armor is very destroyed, but All Might can't stop laughing, saying that the joy is numbing the pain. Cut to an old lady and her grandson watching the fight in another country. The child asks who's that on TV, and his grandmother says that she doesn't know much about the heroes. The child asks what will happen to them if the heroes win, and the old lady says nothing, since it's all happening in a faraway country, but the boy can't take his eyes off of the TV and starts rooting for All Might's victory. So that's a little interesting cutaway, and I guess it's just showing us that, like, this is for sure happening in Japan, and it's very centralized there, but the ramifications do have a global impact. Like, yeah, if the heroes win, then everything just stays as it is, especially for the other countries. But if All for One were to win, he would slowly take over the world. Like, that was his implied ambitions. Like, everyone else knows that, even like the President of the United States. Cut back to the fight, and the car that was shooting the lasers explodes, freeing All for One. We then see that he looks like a child, and his body is emitting light. All Might calls him a rugrat, but All for One responds, saying, "You forgot to smile, dear friend." So wow, it actually happened. I think we were talking about this.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket and watch your favorite NFL teams' out-of-market Sunday games live all season long. Now on YouTube.
This in the previous review, I thought it was going to immediately happen after the damage that he was taking from All Might's big Aoyama laser that he hit him with, because it was said that All for One's current rewinding that he's going through speeds up when he's using more quirks to heal himself, and the more damage he takes as well. So that has all compounded, I guess, later on in this chapter, along with what happened before with the laser. And now he has regressed to a child because, previously he was like, I don't know, maybe a teenager or something. So I assumed that he was going to regress to like a child or something. And yeah, here it is. I'm not sure if he's a straight up toddler or something, or if he's 5 years old, but it's going to be really weird seeing like just kicking the
This is
crap
very
out of,
awkward to
a
see.
little kid. Something that looks like an arm starts to come out of All for One's back, but then suddenly his whole body freezes. Everyone's blood is equally red. Stain arrives with his glider, licking All for One's blood from a debris and shouting, "Go All Might!" End of chapter. Oh my god, guys, that is incredible. I'm so hyped for this. Horikoshi is really
So
starting to
Stain
live up
actually
this fight
is
here,
helping All Might in this
because
battle?
Stain is finally back, and he's assisting All Might against All for One. This is like
This
some
is
fan fiction I was
this is
reading
new to
or
hear.
something. And I think this means that Stain is gonna get a final and proper moment with All Might, which I'm glad, because his moment with All Might before I thought was a little anticlimactic. So I'm glad he's having another one here, especially seeing
A little
All
bit
Might,
shocked about
in
this
his
chapter.
final blaze of glory, actually fighting together with him. Like, if they fight together, which I think is going to happen, they already technically are, but if they straight up fight together in the next chapter against All for One, that would be incredible. Also,
That would be
aside
sick.
from that, Stain being here is also great
That
because
would
he
be
potentially can
absolutely
finally
incredible
talk
to see.
Toga and Tabi. Like, that's a whole thing that still needs to happen. So if Horikoshi can do that, then man, he's really ending this series properly then. Or at least he's doing some things that he should have done, at least. But that's pretty much it for this one, guys.
Wow. What a surprise that Stain jumps in the battle to help All Might. This is incredible. And not only that, All for One is turned into a kid. Or a baby child, at least. And I don't know how he can handle that kind of, birth right there. Because as you're a baby, you're pretty much... I don't know how to explain it. I mean, how can you be that powerful? If you're All for One, you pretty much rewind yourself to an adult, to a teenager, and then to a child. I mean, you're pretty much going to be powerless. You probably won't be able to handle it. I mean, you can't even fight back. I mean, all you could rely is your power, so that's pretty much you got the advantage right there. But still, I wouldn't recommend that Stain and All Might would definitely kill a child of All for One. I mean, if they're planning on killing All for One, then that's the case. Because Stain is only he kills All Might, he doesn't. So I don't know how long this battle's gonna last, but it's buying some time for Midoriya so he can take out Shigaraki. So yeah. I mean, chapter 400 is a bit of a surprise, a little bit shocking to hear, but still, it's a good chapter. Now, we're right on the verge of on the next chapter, 401. So I don't know if they're on break yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll be another a week or two to see the next chapter. How is it going to, proceed on? Good chapter. Love it. Alright, folks, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. And I'm also going to hit 300 subs on this channel, so I'm really excited to see that happening. If it does, I'm rolling with it, guys. I'm really rolling with it with this channel, okay? So I'm making some good progress. I'm putting a lot of content out here, a lot of content out there. So I'm putting it all together to make this channel an amazing channel to hit 1 million. I'm looking forward to it. Alright, peace out.